Amafh Farms, Uganda's #1 macadamia growers and processors, welcomes you to the macadamia world. Amafh Farm is located in Nambale, Mityana, 10 minutes drive from Mityana town, Uganda. Established in 2003, Amafh Farm lies on 1,200 acres, approximately 2 square miles of land. We specialize in growing and processing macadamia and promoting their products in Uganda from seed to eat with complete value chain interventions. Substantial benefits in agricultural productivity can only be realized through investment, innovation, policy, and using advanced technology, for which the company is enthusiastic. With an investment of over 32 billion Uganda shillings to date, Amafh is gearing up for an even bigger investment into macadamia growing and processing, which includes a massive outgrower program aimed to alleviate rural poverty. Macadamia nuts are the fruits produced by macadamia nut trees, a species of evergreen trees. Macadamias were introduced to Hawaii in 1880, and by 1930 it was commercially established. Macadamias are grown in Australia, Brazil, Israel, Thailand, the United States of America, Hawaii and California, Kenya, Malawi, Swaziland, South Africa, Zimbabwe, Costa Rica, New Zealand, and Guatemala. Amafh Farm started growing in 2003. More effort was put after 2016, where other farmers were being trained and encouraged to grow macadamia nut trees. Uganda is a new entrant in the global market, currently exporting nut in shell, and has gained 11th world ranking, just in years since exports started in 2018. The acceleration is a sign that Uganda can be among top 5 exporters once the Macadamia Outgrower Extension Program is implemented. We are now introducing Uganda to the world map of macadamia producers. Macadamia nuts have a wide range of nutrition and health benefits that include a rich source of healthy fats, contains omega-3 fats for heart health benefits and diabetes management, very low in sodium, and contains potassium, similar to other nuts for blood pressure and heart health benefits, an excellent source of thiamine vitamin B1, which is important for the production of energy from food and also helps with weight management. One of the most valuable products from macadamia nuts is macadamia oil. This is a clear, light yellow liquid that comes from pressed macadamia nuts and has so many health benefits that include: helps to maintain cholesterol levels, boosts immune system, boosts energy levels. Macadamia milk is higher in healthy fats and manganese than other non-dairy nut milks. It is especially for people who don't drink cow milk or are allergic to it. For culinary uses, crushed macadamias make a great addition to apple crisp, toasted nuts add crunch to green salads, and chopped macadamia nuts add buttery flavor to white chocolate cookies. One of our favorite recipes is a pudding cake, which uses roasted bananas, buttery macadamias, and a hint of orange zest. A few fun facts and figures about macadamia. World macadamia production in 2010 was 27,894 metric tons, whereas in 2020 it went up to 62,875 metric tons in terms of kernel basis. Australia and South Africa each hold 25% of the world market, and Kenya holds 12% of the world market in terms of kernel basis. World macadamia production in 2009 was 31,260 metric tons, whereas in 2019 it went up to 42,695 metric tons in terms of shelled macadamia nuts. South Africa holds 38% and Australia holds 24%, whereas Kenya holds 10% of the world market in shelled macadamia nuts. This is the world macadamia demand and supply line for the next 20 years. As you can see, the demand keeps on rising and the supply never satisfies the demand. In the year 2020, the contribution to Uganda's GDP from macadamia was about $800,000 just from 380 hectares of bearing plantation, of which about 50% still very young, and 8th year from implementing the Macadamia Outgrowers Extension Project in 40,000 hectares. Contribution to GDP from macadamia will be about $250 million, accounting to 0.5% of total GDP. Till date, exports from Uganda, Amafh farms are in nuts in shell without brand name, and the below pictures are our proudly Ugandan brands for kernel consumer packs. These are processed macadamia nuts ready to eat. Amafh Farm has a new goal to aim for now, which is to expand the growing and processing of macadamias in Uganda. To achieve this, a new project to scale one of the most important aspects of building a very lucrative agribusiness sector is being proposed: the Macadamia Outgrowers Extension Project. Amafh Farm currently supports over 1,000 growers of macadamia nuts in Uganda, and this has been valuable in increasing the production of macadamia and creating sources of income for Ugandans. The Macadamia Outgrowers Extension Project is here to even make it better. Amafh Farms had already signed a Memorandum of Understanding agreement with Ministry of Agriculture and Animal Fisheries on 5th of February 2021. To be implemented under the Nucleus Farm model, the Macadamia Outgrowers Extension Project is envisioned to make Uganda one of the largest macadamia growing, processing, and exporting countries through bringing 250,000 small-scale farmers on board and converting 1 million acres of land into agroforestry under the master plan, training farmers to grow macadamia, developing agricultural markets, including opportunities for small-scale farmers, enhance the forex reveres and reduce the balance of payments of the country, sharing environmental best practices and increasing agroforestry. By doing this, the mission of the project, which is committing to export quality macadamia nuts and its byproducts while creating meaningful development of its farming and providing reasonable returns to all stakeholders, will be achieved. The objectives of the Macadamia Outgrowers Extension Project have been designed in line with NDP 3 objectives, and these include: to increase the acreage of macadamia growing throughout Uganda by engaging outgrowers, to provide high-quality seedlings at a low cost to outgrowers, to convey eco-friendly techno-economic knowledge to outgrowers, to run buyback programs for outgrowers, to create vast agricultural employment for youth, women, refugee households and host community households, resettle landless persons and victims of natural and man-made disasters, internally displaced persons, ex-LRA and ex-UPDF personnel shall be induced to the project. Amafh Farm is working with the 7 pillars of the parish development model because of the shared objectives, and macadamia is one of the 18 crops promoted. Currently, Ugandan macadamia farms employs about 15,000 people. Once the Macadamia Outgrowers Extension Project is implemented, at least 25,000 permanent job opportunities will be created, 1,500,000 harvesting workforce will be employed, self-employment to 25,000 outgrowers, contribute to the GDP of Uganda about $250 million annually. It adds at least UGX 1 trillion to the household's income. Macadamia nut trees can be grown in all regions of Uganda. With the guidance, suggestions, and support of Amafh Farms shall be the nucleus farm for the development of macadamia. Outgrowers will be selected for training to understand and gain a fact-filled, practical experience in the processes of production and post-harvest handling. A team of highly qualified personnel, such as MSc and PhD holders in agronomy, agriculture, horticulture, plant pathologist, and as well as agriculture engineers will be employed. The proposed project description is designed to have 7 components that include nursery development, plantation or crop development, intercropping, research and extension support, post-harvest activities, producer buyback program, project management. We have identified and finalized the procurement of a state-of-the-art nursery under a fully automated temperature-controlled greenhouse system that produces over 3.6 million seedlings a year. About 20 macadamia plant clinic-cum-collection centers will be established. regionally to cater the extension services and collect the harvested macadamia. There will be demonstration farms attached to these clinics. The project will also create storage facilities for post-harvest handling, macadamia semi-processing plants near farmer groups for preliminary processing of the produce or macadamia fruits being harvested will also be developed. Currently, Amafh Farms has a macadamia processing plant that can immediately intake all the nuts being harvested in the country. For purposes of value addition, there is a plan in the pipeline to add a state-of-the-art production line in the near future by Amafh Farms to enable it to absorb the increased harvest as time goes on. This will enable Uganda to produce valuable macadamia products like snacks, macadamia oil, chocolates and energy bars, and macadamia honey. These products are a great source of income through local and foreign trade. Thank you for the macadamia cake. I added it to my usual dairy meal formula as a substitute for soya meal. The results were great with a 4-litre increase in milk production. Edward of FH, Kintu Dairies Kasangati. The project meant to develop the macadamia crop on 100,000 acres with 100 trees per acre, which mean 10 million trees in 5 years, so needs to supply 2 million high-quality seedlings per year. The financial budget for project implementation is about 377 billion Uganda shillings for 5 years of implementation. The source of this funding is an expected support or grant from Amafh, which totals 363 billion Uganda shillings and about 14 billion Uganda shillings contribution from Amafh Farms for the first year, with more contributions in the coming years. Amafh's funding for the first year will be 50% for 10 million macadamia seedlings, the balance payable for the quantities to be delivered from time to time along with plantation management fee, and for the first year a grant of 13 billion shillings for mainly to establish a training school, to meet the cost of conducting workshops, seminars, etc. to sensitize medium and smallholder farmers to become outgrowers and the general public to grow macadamia plants in their yards. Another source of revenue for all project outgrowers is going to be through intercropping. This is by introducing new varieties of cash crops into the macadamia plantations. Amafh Farms will ensure the effective implementation of the nuts plantation and intercropping components of the project. Through the support of the Government of Uganda and Amafh, the project will have the following benefits to outgrowers and small-scale farmers. By providing inputs that include seedlings, extension services, chemicals, and irrigation systems. By providing intercropping inputs like seedlings, extension services, chemicals, and irrigation systems. This is a 1-acre macadamia yearly project revenue projection. This is the feasibility of intercropping in macadamia with beans and ground nuts. The socio-economic benefits envisaged from this project will include a minimum of 60% participation of youth and women in project activities, training of youth and women in alternative ways of preparing macadamia nuts, and broadening efforts of diversifying export crops. The promotion of intercropping is also regarded as a means for efficient use of productive resources, food security and enhancement of farmer income at family level. Social, economical and environmental impacts. This is expected to have a significant nutritional effect on children in Uganda. Farmers' incomes are expected to gradually increase as yields improve, with positive implications for the well-being of the farmers. An average youth by the age of 25 years will benefit from macadamia farming by the age of 30 years for 70 to 100 years reaping benefits from macadamia. Environmental impacts. The project is classified under Category 2, which means any adverse impact on the environment could easily be addressed. Government policy to favor intensified agriculture instead of making more land available for plantation of macadamia will play an important role in conserving the environment. Also important is the adoption of agricultural practices such as intercropping with legume crops, training farmers in integrated pest management, and optimal use of pesticides. The project will advocate for the use of compost manure and fertigation systems. It is assumed the activities will not have any negative impact on the environment, as an average macadamia tree lasts for 70 to 100 years. Project sustainability and viability. Currently, Amafh Farm project has significant capacity building in all aspects of macadamia production and accomplished satisfactory levels of community involvement and ownership of the activities through its outgrower scheme. The continuation of development of investment gains will depend on the strength of macadamia outgrowers scheme and cooperative societies through a Memorandum of Understanding with Amafh Farm Limited, the main processor and exporter of the crop in the country. Project financial and economic analysis. The economic and financial analysis of the project will be determined through the application of the evaluation method known as the discounted funds flow cost benefit analysis. The financial analysis will be conducted to assess whether the smallholder farmers have benefited from their participation in the project through the cultivation of macadamia and other intercrops. Expected environmental impacts. The tree species used in the land use systems of the project will be best chosen among existing varieties by the producers, which are intrinsic or adopted species that the producers are familiar with. The established plantations have no known negative impacts on the ecosystem. Environmental impacts associated with the land use systems are expected, and these are shown at the below table. Monitoring of project environmental impacts. The environmental impacts associated with the project as drawn in above table will be monitored on yearly basis in a sharing manner with the communities by recording simple data on the indicators in the below table. Baseline data for these indicators for the project sites, as is the case generally in the country, is currently unavailable, but Amafh Farms proposes to gather this reference point information in future. Expected socioeconomic impacts. The activities of the project will generate socioeconomic impacts that will accrue to the community, and some of these socioeconomic benefits are outlined below. The socioeconomic benefits envisaged at appraisal is to include a minimum of 60% participation of youth and women in project activities, training of women in alternative ways of preparing macadamia nuts, and broadening efforts of diversifying export crops. The promotion of intercropping is also regarded as a means for efficient use of productive resources, food security, and enhancement of farm income at family level. From project records, 40% of women farmers will be trained to engage in macadamia production and marketing. This is well above the 30% envisaged at appraisal. As the macadamia trees start bearing the fruits, farmers will reap the full benefits of the investment. However, farmers' incomes are expected to gradually increase as yields improve, with positive implication on the well-being of the farmers. The project will contribute to other major elements of poverty reduction in the project area. In addition, the project will benefit the local population during construction, as the contractors mainly draw labor, including women and youth from the local communities. The areas of expected impact and the corresponding proposed indicators that will be tracked are shown in below table. Socioeconomic impact areas and assessment indicators. Local income. Payment for ecosystem services. Income realized from sale of fruit products. Income realized from sale of other tree products. Income realized from sale of products from any additional activities. Local food production. Quantity of fruits produced from fruit-based technical specifications. Increased crop yields attributable to improved soil fertility and better soil and water conservation. Families with limited land. Number of families with limited land registered with the project through appropriate technical specifications and accessing its benefits. Women. Number of women registered with the project and enjoying its benefits.
The plant is an exceptionally wonderful plant. It has biological values, it improves immunity, it is a great source of income.
So I'm very, very grateful learning about it, and I look forward also to be a farmer of macadamia.
Thank you for watching.